Hello everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day today. So in today's video, I wanted to go over another orchestral tools library, and this one is Symphonic Sphere. So it's one of the old good ones, the second library they actually came out with, and this library basically specializes in unique orchestral articulations, ones that, they researched and found out that those articulations haven't been recorded yet. Things like tremolo, like pizzicato tremolos and stuff like that. So, this is a very cool orchestral collection containing some unique articulation. So let's start right away. When you open it up, here on the side, you have the typical single articulations, multi-articulations. So let's just go to the single here and see what we got. And so in terms of orchestral sections, you have a pretty good range here. You have the string sections, you have a woodwind ensemble, you have harp and percussion. You don't have brass in this one. And so and it's understandable because this is kind of made for those flickering, flickering moments that you can find in like Disney scores and French music, impressionistic kind of style. So it's pretty cool. All right, let's start right at the top with some violin tremolos. I just wanted to show you some of those unique articulations. So tremolo is not that unique, but Again, a relatively dry sound, just like orchestral string runs. Right? In terms of mics, you have tree, you have close, and ORTF. So let's just quick listen to each of these. So it sounds like it's slightly panned left. Let's hear ORTF. And then tree. I tend to like tree just because it has a nice balance of detail and a little bit of ambience, so I tend to stick with that. Cool, let's move on to the violin staccato normals. And so they kind of have a normal version and a blurred version, so let's kind of hear the difference. This is just regular staccatos. Okay, and then we have the blurred. So it sounds like the blurred has a slightly less harsh attack to it. It's more like drawn across in a way, so it's more blurry in nature. Really interesting articulation you can fiddle around with. Just a really quick note about the blurred articulations in general. OT basically recorded these with a bad tuning, if you will, to make them basically blend better for faster playing in general. So if we just compare the regular staccatos again, you can hear they're all perfectly in tune and very nice and together. If we hear the blurred a little bit, and it has that slight detuning to it in a way that makes it kind of realistic for those quicker passages where notes are just flying by, and you can really just tell they put this effort into creating this sense of realism that comes from this patch. So that's where the blurred articulations come in. Then we have harmonics tremolo. So this is kind of what this sounds like. And I've never seen this in another orchestral library, so this is pretty unique. So basically they're playing harmonics, but then they're going back and forth with a bow to create a tremolo. And let's hear harmonic glissandi. So you see what I mean when we talk about these whirling kind of textures. This is a perfect example. Sulpont tremolo. Subpont is essentially when you're playing closer to the bridge, so you get a more nasally, thin sound. Okay, tremolo sweeps. Essentially, it's like a dynamics patch where you have like big swells and coming back down. So these are just regular tremolos, but they're, they start from P, they come up to F, and then they come back down. Then we have these trills, Orchestrator trills. And so let me just give you an example here. So this is a regular trill. Now if I wanted to do another trill, I can. So the way this works essentially is that you can have a regular trill up until a fifth, a perfect fifth. And now if you wanted to add in another trill, you want to play another two notes either above or below it, and then you actually hear that second trill. So like right now I'm playing A and E, but let's say I wanted to put in F and B flat. Now basically it's playing two trills at once, if that makes sense. And you can actually have more than two trills actually. So for example, so let's see here. Right, so the possibilities are pretty much endless, and that can create a whole whirl of texture, a wall of sound that just builds and builds, and that can be really cool. So that's kind of their new innovation. Then let's move on to the cello now. So the violas and the basses are pretty much the same types of articulations. So let's just hear the low strings a little bit. We got the cello staccato normal. It's always nice to have a set of basic articulations just so you can blend a little bit. And then harmonics tremolo, subpont tremolo. So a very nice like Hollywood type of sound. It's kind of slightly harsh, a little bit rustic, very upfront and in your face. So yeah, it's a library that isn't that like, it doesn't sound entirely polished, which is nice. I like that quality of it. Yeah. Okay, let's continue on. So we have the woodwind ensemble, trills orchestrator. So very similar concept to the strings. So I start with one trill, let's say E to G. I can add in another one, like D to F sharp. And then let's do another one. And maybe one more. So there we go. That's like fluttering, like birds flying away or something. Okay, and then one of the standout features of this library is the harp. So really quickly, the woodwind ensemble comes with sustained staccato and then the trills orchestrator. So the harp sounds lovely. It comes with a regular chromatic patch, but then you can also use the pedal system as well. And this is what this sounds like. So a very gorgeous, warm sound, which I really, really like. Now let's take a quick look at the pedal harp. So we've looked at the normal one where basically every single note is mapped to, each note on the keyboard. However, you also have this pedal system where you can basically move each pedal to its half step up or down. So for example, this D pedal is on the D position by default, but if you move it to the left, you get a D flat instead. And so if you now play a C major scale, you now have the C major scale with a flat 2 note, which is D flat. So then you can make your own combinations. For example, if you want an F major, then all you need to do is go to B, bring it down to B flat, and now you have F major. So even though I'm playing a B natural down here, right there, you basically hear a B flat. just like that. So that could be really helpful, just to get the sense of realism of what a real harpist would do. They have these different pedals that they use to switch between different scales, and it can be very helpful. And then the provided presets, you can actually click on them, and they will provide these standard combinations for you with different key signatures and different pedal positions. So it's really useful for those moments where you need to basically model a real harp. You can tweak the pedals however you like and change it to whatever scale you like, and there you go. So now you have a G major scale just by tweaking one pedal. Okay, and that's the pedal harp. All right, let's move on to the glissandi. And these sound beautiful, so I'm just pulling up the pentatonic ones here. So let's see. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Right, just gorgeous. Let's hear some down ones. And let's go to fast down. Let's hear 4 coming down. Right? So it's just perfect for those background textures. Maybe like someone's dreaming, or someone like a fairy's flying in or something. It's just lovely. I really like that sound. And then we have the harp glissandi bed, which is you can use like as a pad or something. So let's hear a major. So it just keeps it going. It's lovely. Well, another thing that hasn't been recorded before, right? Like, I've never heard this type of sustained bed just continue on before. And then finally, we have the percussion. So I just pulled up the multi here. So I went into multi-circulations and pulled up the percussion multi. Okay, so let's start with the bamboo chimes here. So we have kind of cool. And then we have bass drums. Kind of soft. We have some dynamics. So it's like a gradual crescendo, which is kind of cool. Some chimes tremolo. You always need the occasional chimes in there. Some chimes gliss up. Yeah, let's go on here. Cymbals dynamics. Nice. Right? So you'll notice, like in general, nothing really hits the FFF range. It's kind of like MF, maybe F and below. These textures are meant to be layered in as flickers of extra realism, just to provide your compositions with extra life and just extra texture that you can't find anywhere else. So in that regard, I really think Symphonic Sphere does really well and still holds up to this day, especially if you're doing that kind of fantasy type of, lush strings, maybe with some maybe some kids shows or things like that. You could definitely use a library like this. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I really appreciate it. Please let me know if you have any suggestions, any comments. Leave them down in the description or in the comments below. And until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.